into 2026, and it has been a little over a year since the last video was uploaded to this channel. And that video itself was recorded more like 2 years ago, which if you look back on this channel's history, it's not too surprising, but it is surprising to me since 2025 was supposed to be the year of this channel really blowing up into something that I wanted it to be. Not really blowing up, just existing, really. I just want to be here to go and document my projects, and that just did not work out in 2025. To be honest, 2025 was a shit show. So, coming into 2026, I want it to be a little bit different. My life has changed quite a bit. I am in a new house. I have a little corner of a basement for my workshop here. Everything is spread out everywhere, and it's really difficult for me to go and record videos now. Like, before I actually had a place to do it, now I have a much smaller place to do it. So this video, being the first one for 2026, is not going to be the video I wanted. It's going to be the video that I need. I have a project or two that I really need to get done ASAP so I can make those future videos and make this a consistent thing. To be honest with you, a lot of projects has happened over the past few years, and I have every intention of recording it, but there's so many roadblocks in the way, and just pulling out the camera itself is a roadblock, but knowing where to set it up and having a space for it to set up is fucking impossible. So I'm going to make it slightly easier on myself, and maybe after a few of these small little projects to kind of prop this channel up, it can be something that is more consistent. So, what is this project going to be? Let's see. This pretty much right here is my makerspace. Pretty much having an entire basement back in my old house. This is pretty much all I got right here. The rest of this basement is filled up with all the other shit from my house, and the whole garage is filled up also, so the Pour Miata is outside. Under a car cover, but still outside, which makes me a little bit sad. So, what are you gonna do? I gotta, do what I gotta do. This is not our forever house, and hopefully it will, we will have a new house sometime in 2026, so I can start this whole nightmare all over again of moving my shit all over the place. So, what is the biggest issue? Well, you can see it's tiny. This is pretty much where I put all my projects together, where I take apart my electronics, where I assemble my nonsense, and where I want to eventually document, when I'm building my projects. And I have a few really cool ones coming up. The parts are on their way from Amazon, and those videos probably won't come out for, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years at the current rate that I'm at, but I'm hoping way sooner. But the problem is, where the hell do I record this? I do have this Sony camera that I really enjoy, but getting it situated and sitting right in this tiny area is really difficult. So that's going to be my main focus right now, is figuring out a solution for recording the things that I do at this desk. So first things off, again, I don't want to use this camera for this. Having this camera hanging from the ceiling or dangling above me just gives way too many opportunities for it to fall and break, and that will just devastate me. I do not want or have the budget to buy a brand new camera, so I want to put up a camera that is a little bit, I don't know, less, something I worry about a lot less. And one of the things that we all have in our pocket, and it's a camera that we have probably all dropped quite a few times, is our cell phone here. So I got my Samsung Galaxy S23. It's got a OtterBox case on it, and I dropped this thing a million times, and it's been just fine. So having this thing hang over my head is not that much of a worry. It's paid off a long time ago, and it doesn't owe me much at this point. So this is what I want to use. So yeah, I want to go and use my phone. So how the hell do I get it above my area here? So of course I could go on Amazon and look at any of the million solutions that they have there, and some of them are really good. You could use the rafters here, since this is a basement. I could just kind of screw into there, but I don't really want to do that. This area is probably going to be moved again, like I said, within the next, within 2026. So I don't want a solution that I'm gonna have to re-engineer at some point. This desk is how it's going to be, so I want to use it, you know, like attach it to the desk so it's easy to go and just pick up and take away. The arms and stuff that they have probably would work, but they are at an Amazon warehouse somewhere and they're not here right now, and I don't want to wait. So I want to get this done as soon as possible. So I have to work with the things that I have. I don't want to build a big canopy here because that's just going to take up more space that I don't have. But I do have this light here, this cheap light that I bought from Amazon. I really enjoy it. It is perfect for what it is, and when it's all locked down, it always stays exactly in this orientation. I think I can build something off of this. So with me screwing around with my phone and getting the right idea, get an idea of what I want here, I think the phone would be perfect attached to this light right like this. This light is strong enough to go and hold this. I don't worry about you know, it collapsing or anything. If I have to strengthen it up, I can. So this is really where I want to be. I want this phone to attach to this light here somehow, and then we can move forward. But again, most of the solutions that you're probably thinking of means an order from Amazon, and I just don't want to do that. I want it now. I want it right now. So that's where this 3D printer and all the other hardware, like the whole hardware store, this basement has turned into, pretty much. I'm gonna go and use to try to make this solution here. One thing I do have is this old cell phone tripod mount. It is junk. I've had it for like 15 years, and almost every single phone I've put in it has fallen out of it. Also, it's sprung the wrong way here. I think it should be sprung the other way, so it's always small, and then you have to pull it open against the spring, so it always is grappling your phone. So I don't want to use this, but I like the idea and shape of it. I do have one that's similar to this that is has a knob on the end, and it actually clamps it using a screw, and I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to make our own screw style cell phone mount, and we're going to design it fully from scratch so we can go and use the hardware that I already have and make it custom fit around the top of this LED. This LED is cold, by the way. It's not, even on its highest strength, it doesn't get very hot, so I don't have to worry about the heat if anybody had any thoughts about that. The hardware I was thinking of using is, of course, out of reach. It's just a bolt and a nut. Simple as that. Probably should have showcase mode on my phone here, but it's just a, you know, a bolt. I don't know how long it is. I'm not even gonna guess. But that and a nut there should be everything I need to be able to clamp it down. If it sits there on top of the clamp and just a quick little knob, it should hold it in place pretty well. I'll 3D print, or I'll design the 3D print around this. And if you can't visualize it now, don't worry. I'll show you in a second. But that's pretty much what I want to do. I wanted to make a camera rig. I think I got a good idea in my head. Now it's just spending the next 45 minutes to an hour, you know, just throwing a design at the wall, throwing a few designs maybe, and I'll catch up with you then. So, I know this is a weird angle right here, but, you know, I think it'd be cool to put what I'm showing you here. So, this is after dinner, and after me messing with a few different designs, and I think I came up with something pretty good. So, this is one of the parts that we had here. So this is actually going to be the part that will wrap around the light itself. So as you can see, the light will fit in this area right here. And two things that I added to this, of course there are three things. This right here is the hook that holds onto one side of the phone, and these two channels on either side are what kind of keep the other piece that I'll show you in a second aligned with the other one. And inside this hole right here is where the nut gets captured. So I think this should work for the most part. I put a little groove right here that kind of like goes into the groove that's on the light. So I'm just hoping that it kind of holds it there. And then we have 2 screws. So I'm just going to put 2 screws in there, and they're just going to push up against the light, and I'm hoping that it's enough to really, you know, lock it in. We might have to adjust that at some point. So that's one piece, and then let's look at the second piece here. So this is the second piece. As you can see, there's 2 little legs things that stick out here with the hole, and this is where you're going to go and put the screw. So when you go and tighten it up, you can pull it together. So here's going to be a full view of the 2 pieces together. There's a little bit of an error here, just don't worry too much about that. Here's the bolt. There's a washer. The bolt's going to go through into the nut, and then hopefully that these cutouts are going to be good. Okay, they're going to work probably. So, you know, this is the part that we got. I'm pretty confident that, you know, it'll be at least, you know, it'll give us some information on how this should work. Okay, so here is our build plate. As you can see, I put them both on their side. This is not ideal. You do not want a 3D print like this. You want a 3D print with as few supports as possible, and there's quite a few supports to go and hold up this edge right here and underneath on this edge. Oops, I did not want to do that. So that right there is what it looks like on the build plate, and as you can see, there is a flush tower here because we will be using an interface material. So to make sure that we have the supports not stick to our actual parts, what we're going to do is we're going to use an interface material, and it's just support material for PLA that you give to Bandit. So let's slice this plate and take a quick look at what it looks like. So for this piece right here, as you can see, there's that interface material, and then it bridges over that, so that should make it really clean and nice. Then if we scroll up, this is the hole for the bolt, and this is where the nut gets held on there. And then right at this point right here, that's a pause. That's when we're going to take the nut and throw it into the part, and then we'll resume the print. Then if we continue on this part right here, we have some interface material on the top of these tree supports, and that's going to hold up that other leg on this piece right here. So this is saying that it's going to take about 1 hour and 38 minutes. That should be pretty good. Hopefully we don't waste too much material here. This is just a test and prototype. So I'm going to go and click print on this, and then we should be all set. And then I'll show you what we have. Boom, movie magic. We have it all set. It's off the printer. Here is one of the pieces right here, one of the sides, the side that goes over the light. It has a bit of support material with the interface layer that came right off. So that's pretty fantastic. That support material didn't stick at all. So boom, we got that all set. It does have the nut inside here, which is fantastic. So great, awesome. I already checked, made sure that the bolt threaded in, and it does. The second piece is the part with the 2 legs, and they go right in there. And this is incredibly difficult to film because I do not have a proper setup, and soon I will. So this goes in and out. These are incredibly sloppy. This is not how it's supposed to be, or it is. I made it sloppier than it needs to be, which is good because then we can go and fix that in the next run. But let's take this. We're gonna put the bolt in, all nice. And then that bolt is going to go and squish it, and it will go over the phone. So let's get the phone, take the phone, put it through the side, and it will be screen up because we have the camera, of course, down. We'll take it, and of course this will be much easier when we have an actual knob at the end here, and that is just going to go and clamp our phone. There we go. Okay, that seems to work pretty well. I do gotta make that less sloppy because it is kind of twisted a little bit. So we will need to go and fix that. So, okay, the phone fits. That is a success, or a partial success. Now let's see if it actually fits on the light. So it's off. Let's go and point this up a little bit. There we go. And we're gonna go and see how it fits on this. So, and it snaps right on. So, of course, it is sloppy. It will need the 2 screws on the side to kind of push against it, but that groove does fit perfectly with this groove right here. And once it's attached, it should work pretty well. If we flip it around, because you know it's the same on both sides, you can see the 2 screws will push up against it. I am looking to put screws that are kind of sharp and pointy. I might move the screw holes up to interface with this groove here, so the screws go into the groove and then it locks itself in. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll modify it just a little bit, and we should be in a lot better shape. There's some other things that I want to talk about real quick that I thought of while I was messing around with this, or while I was having dinner, messing around in my head. I think, you know, with the sloppiness, we fix the sloppiness, but also there should be something like a spring that keeps it open, so when you tighten it, it moves it out of the way. Let me just see real quick. When the phone fits in there, so when the phone is in there, we have a little bit of space. I think if we put a spring in this hole right here, at least on one side, it'll keep it from getting too weird. Yeah, I think this might work. This might work pretty well. Yeah, so I'm gonna go and find a spring. Funny enough, in my fiance's office, she had a spring from a pen just sitting on the floor, and I picked it up earlier, and I'm like, ooh, this could be useful. And this project came about literally 4 or 5 hours ago in my head, so what good timing that is. So I'm gonna make some updates to this. We'll throw it on the printer, and in all likelihood it'll be tomorrow, but I'm very excited. I think we have a very good start here. Well, we're at the next day. It's snowing outside, and my whole day's kind of blown up, so it gave me a bunch of time to actually work on the project and get a haircut, because that is right down the road. So we got it. We're all set. So here is our part. As you can see, I did add the spring that we're talking about. I added some foam that has a little bit of a backing to it, or sticky backing. We have our screws that go back, and those will go into that little crevice that is on the light. This is pretty good. The only thing that we have to work on is a screw nut knob. That's what it is, a knob. And I did actually create that, as you can see, if you can see that there. I did add some little divots on the screw all around it. Those were just drilled in here by a little drill bit and a little bit of WD-40. I did the same thing to the knob itself. It has little holes on the inside. I'm just going to super glue it on there. That should be enough surface area for it to go and stick pretty well. And then we'll have that knob. So I'm going to super glue the knob. We're going to throw it on the light, and we'll go and get some up close shots of how it looks. Okay, so here it is installed on the light. We got the 2 screws back there that are in that groove along here. This also has a groove on the front. We got our spring in there, we got our foam pads, and we got our very, very nice knob. And that knob just kind of super glued on there. I think it looks pretty damn good. So I'm going to throw my phone in there real quick, and we'll see what that looks like. Oh, here we are. Phone's in there. Looks pretty good. We'll do a test run, but it doesn't really it's not too bad. It's not like it's putting too much twist on the whole thing. This whole thing twists anyway, but that should be just fine. If I have to modify this a little bit, then we will, but I think we are just fine with testing this out and using this workspace, and hopefully this camera will make it a lot easier. So let's test that out. Awesome. Okay, so here we are. This is the first test. It's all set up. The video is going to be at 4K, so I can really zoom into things. I have the resolution to zoom in and see the specific things that I'm doing. How does it look? Can we see things? Does it look nice? When I start working on my projects, will I be able to edit with this video? And is this actually going to go and make me more efficient? I don't know. I'm hoping so. There is a few things with this light bar that seem to be a little bit of an issue. It is a little weak. Not that I already knew that it was a little bit weak, but there's a few tweaks. Really, things just don't get as tight as the knobs probably allow, but I can modify that. I have all the tools to do so. But here we are. This is my new overhead setup, and where I'm going to do most of my setup and recording for the little projects that I have. I have some cool stuff over here that will be in my next video, and really what this was specifically made for. So very excited. I hope you all enjoyed this. You know, just make something. Really, that's my main goal here, is just to go and do something as many days of the week as possible, because life flies by way too fast. And you know, I just really want this space to be as usable as possible and to be able to share the creative nonsense that happens in my mind all the time. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and watch out for my next one. Thank you.